Equifax Higher Education Analytics from raw data to graduate outcomes. Power BI Dashboards, a step-by-step design tutorial. Start with the data, not the dashboard. When discussing Equifax data in higher education, it is tempting to jump straight into dashboards and visualizations. However, that is the wrong starting point. The first question is not, what visual should I build? But rather, what does the delivered data actually support? In this video, we'll begin with the 6 database objects that most university systems and institutions request from Equifax, 1 attribute lookup table, and 5 Equifax report tables. Together, they provide valuable insight into financial outcomes, debt and repayment behavior, economic mobility, regional opportunity, financing background, and overall data coverage. Understanding what these 6 objects contain is the foundation for the analytics and reporting we'll build throughout the solution. Before designing dashboards or developing analytics, we should first understand what questions the data can actually answer and what insights it can realistically support. The guiding principle of this solution is straightforward. Build analytics that align with the delivered data, preserve the grain of the pre-aggregated Equifax measures, and organize reporting around the questions stakeholders need answered. By grounding the design in the available data, we ensure that every metric, visualization, and insight remains both accurate and defensible. The 6 available database tables. The first table is Equifax Attribute to LKP. This is not an outcome fact table. Instead, it serves as a lookup table that translates an aggregation level and attribute value into a meaningful, human-readable attribute description. The remaining 5 database objects are fact tables. Each fact table represents a distinct subject area and should remain separate within the data model. Rather than joining fact tables directly to one another, they should be connected through shared conformed dimensions. This design preserves the integrity and grain of each fact table, avoids many-to-many relationships, and provides a consistent filtering experience across reports. By using conformed dimensions as the common analytical framework, we can analyze multiple subject areas together while maintaining a clean, scalable, and high-performing star schema. Equifax Attribute Lookup. The attribute lookup is essential for student group and financing background analysis. It is for non-CIP analytical and financing attributes and translates coded values into meaningful categories such as loan status, Pell eligibility, first-generation status, residency, gender, race and ethnicity, age, FTIC, transfer status, credits earned, institution type, and institution region. CIP codes are managed separately through an official CIP reference dimension. The key concept to understand is that attribute value is not unique on its own. The same value can represent different attributes depending on the aggregation level. As a result, this table should not be joined using only attribute value. Instead, the lookup must be joined using a composite key consisting of both the aggregation level and the attribute value. This ensures that each record is matched to the correct attribute description and prevents invalid mappings in your reporting and analytics. Equifax Report 1 ROI. This is the first report fact table and is the primary source for the ROI and financial outcomes page. It provides payments, balances, delinquency-related measures, mortgage auto indicators, and match coverage. Because it contains pre-aggregated measures such as medians and percentiles, these values must not be averaged across incompatible groups. Instead, the semantic model must preserve the intended grain of the data and ensure that all calculations are performed at the appropriate structural and analytical level. Equifax Report to Mobility. This is the second report fact table and supports Q1 to Q5 mobility analysis. It provides AXI and TWN Q1 Q5 distributions plus coverage. Until the underlying business definitions are formally documented, the dashboard should retain the neutral Q1 through Q5 labels. We should avoid assuming that Q1 represents the lowest income group or that Q5 represents the highest income group. The analytics should reflect only what the data explicitly defines, not interpretations that have not yet been validated. Equifax. Report 3, Debt Financial Milestones. This is the third report fact table and shares the same core dimensional structure as Report 1, R1, and includes many of the same measures such as debt and payment activity, account balances, delinquency, indicators, mortgage and auto debt, and data coverage metrics. However, its analytical focus is different. Rather than emphasizing outcomes, it organizes these measures into a financial life narrative, highlighting debt levels, payment burden, financial risk, and major household financial milestones. Equifax. Report 4, Regional. This is the fourth report fact table and is particularly valuable because it links income outcomes to geographic context. It provides income, current state, rural-urban status, student share, and match coverage. It supports analysis of state destinations, rural versus urban populations, student distribution, income percentiles, and long-term income progression. This allows institutions to examine not only how graduates perform economically, but also where those outcomes occur and how they vary across regions and communities. Equifax. Report 5, Financing Methods. This is the fifth report fact table and links financing and student background characteristics to subsequent outcomes, including income, account balances, delinquency measures, mortgage participation, and source-specific match quality. To ensure consistency and accuracy, all category labels displayed in the dashboard should come directly from Attribute Desk in the Attribute Lookup table. We should not create or infer financing categories that are not explicitly defined in the lookup. The semantic model, a multi-fact star schema. Now that we understand the 6 database objects, the next step is designing the semantic model. The recommended approach is a multi-fact star schema. Keep fact ROI, fact mobility, fact debt milestones, fact regional opportunity, and fact financing methods as separate fact tables, each preserving its own business meaning and level of detail. Rather than joining fact tables directly, connect them through shared conformed dimensions. This design preserves the grain of each fact table, supports consistent filtering across subject areas, and provides a scalable foundation for reporting and analytics. This model creates a consistent analytical path through the data, from system or institution to student or program context, then cohort, followed by time since exit, and ultimately the outcome measure. By applying the same dimensional framework across all fact tables, users can navigate different subject areas with a consistent reporting experience while preserving the integrity of each dataset. Table set, the structural grain table set, is more than just a slicer. It defines the structural grain of the analysis. For example, an executive institution snapshot may be intentionally built on set 1, while a cohort trend analysis may be intentionally built on set 2. Because table, Lissetti, determines how the data is structured, the measure or visual should explicitly select the appropriate set. We should not rely on whatever slicers happen to be selected or attempt to infer the correct set automatically. Choosing the right table set is a design decision, not a user filtering decision. Aggregation level, the analytical breakdown. Aggregation level determines the analytical subgroup and should be treated as part of the key. The safest approach is to create a composite key using aggregation level, a separator, and attribute value. Because attribute value is not unique by itself, relying on it alone can produce incorrect mappings. For CIP analysis, use the separate official CIP dimension instead of the attribute lookup table. Governed measures. Because Equifax delivers many pre-aggregated measures, including medians, percentiles, rates, and population counts, the DAX layer must be designed carefully. In many cases, using a pattern such as selected value for an already aggregated median is safer than averaging values across multiple underlying rows. When the current filter context contains more than one row, returning a blank may be preferable to returning a mathematically misleading result. Counts can be summed only after confirming that the selected rows represent mutually exclusive populations at the chosen grain. The same caution applies to matched denominators and other population-based measures. Multiple table set or aggregation level rows may represent the same population from different analytical perspectives, and aggregating them together can lead to double counting or incorrect conclusions. The guiding principle is simple. Preserve the intended grain of the Equifax data and avoid calculations that combine pre-aggregated measures in ways the source data was never designed to support. Common Power BI page design. Every page should follow a consistent enterprise design language. A clear title and context strip at the top, compact synchronized slicers, no more than 4 to 6 KPI cards, 2 to 4 analytical visuals, and a concise insight or data quality panel at the bottom. The context strip is especially important. It should clearly display the selected institution, cohort, CIP, time since exit, and match rate. This provides the analytical context behind every metric and visual, ensuring that leaders can immediately understand what a number represents and the population to which it applies. A consistent page structure improves usability, reduces cognitive load, and helps users move between dashboards without having to relearn the layout or interpret metrics in isolation. The 13 dashboards, based on the delivered data and our analysis of its structure and content, we plan to create 13 dashboards that turn the raw data into meaningful, actionable insights. Dashboard 1, Executive Graduate Outcomes. Overview. Primary audience are Chancellor System Leadership, Presidents, Provosts, IR Leadership. The purpose of this page is to a 30-second view of long-term graduate outcomes, and, where deeper analysis is needed, the primary source is R4 income geography coverage, R3 debt milestones, R2 mobility, R5 source-specific match quality. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, income P25, P75, median total balance, 90-day DPD rate, overall match rate, total matched consumers. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question, KPI cards, median income by cohort year using set 2, median income by years post, exit using set 1, Q1, Q5 mobility distribution, compact U.S. destination map, small data coverage panel. The filters are institution, cohort year, time since exit, CIP hierarchy, credential level, completion status. These filters are shared ones and will be implemented consistently almost across all dashboards to provide a unified and seamless user experience. Dashboard 2, ROI and financial outcomes. Primary audience are students, parents, financial aid, student success. Leaders, IR. The purpose of this page is to show financial burdens and progression associated with post-college outcomes. The primary source is R1 ROI. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median total payment, median total balance, P25, P75 balance range, P25, P75 payment range, match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question, payment percentile range, balance percentile range, balance by years, post-exit, payment by years post-exit. Program tranche CIP comparison using a metric selector. The filters are the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1. Dashboard 3, Economic Mobility. Primary audience are students, parents, system leadership, IR, academic leadership. The purpose of this page is to show how Equifax mobility quintile distributions change across cohorts and time after exit. The primary source is R2 mobility. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to Q1 share, Q5 share, TWN matched consumers, overall source match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question, XI, Q1, Q5, 100% stacked bar, TWN, Q1, Q5, only when definitions support it. Mobility by cohort year, mobility by years, post-exit. Optional CIP heat map. The filters are the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, Dashboard 4, debt and financial milestones. Primary audience are students, parents, financial wellness leaders, institutional system leadership. The purpose of this page is to understand debt payment burden, delinquency-related risk, and major household financial milestones. The primary source is R3 Debt and Financial. Milestones. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median total balance, median total payment, 90-day DPD rate, mortgage rate, auto rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. Balance P25, median P75, payment P25, median P75, longitudinal balance DPD mortgage views. Program CIP comparison for DPD or balance. The filters are the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, Dashboard 5. Regional opportunity. Primary audience are students, parents, presidents, system leadership, workforce, regional planners. Purpose of this page is to show where graduates are located and how income differs by state and rural or urban status. The primary source is R4 Regional Opportunity. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, P25, P75, top destination state, share remaining in Georgia, rural share, urban share, match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. U.S. filled map by current state using PCT of students, top destination. States, rural views, urban income, income by years post-exit for rural versus urban. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with two additional filters, current state and rural urban status. Dashboard 6, financing background and outcomes. Primary audience are students, parents, financial aid, student success, institutional to system leadership. The purpose of this page is to connect financing background with long-term income, balance, delinquency-related, and mortgage outcomes. The primary source is R5 Financing Methods plus Equifax Attribute LKP. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, median total balance, 90-day DPD rate, mortgage rate, TWN match rate, credit match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. Income by financing attribute, balance by financing attribute, DPD by financing attribute, income percentile range, income by years, post-exit for selected groups. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with two additional filters, financing attribute type, financing attribute value. Dashboard 7, income and financial distribution. Primary audience are students, parents, advisors, academic leadership, IR. The purpose of this page is to show the middle 50% of outcomes, rather than relying on a single median. The primary source is R4, R5 for income, R1, R3 for balanced payment. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, income P25, income P75, median balance, median payment. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question, 3 percentile range visuals, income, total balance, total payment. Income percentile range by institution or CIP, income percentile trend by years post-exit. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1. Dashboard 8, cohort and longitudinal trends. Primary audience are institution, system leadership, IR deans, program review teams. The purpose of this page is to track outcomes across cohorts and across 1 to 20 years after exit. The primary source is all 5 reports through governed measures. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to selected metric current value, prior cohort change, match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. Metric selector line by cohort year, metric selector line by years, post-exit, cohort X years, post-exit heat map, optional mobility time view. Filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with one additional filter, metric selector. Dashboard 9, program, CIP outcomes. Primary audience are students, parents, deans, department chairs, provost, program review. The purpose of this page is to understand long-term financial outcomes. by academic program. The primary source is all reports, plus official CIP reference dimension. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, median balance, median payment, DPD rate, mobility distribution, match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. CIP2, CIP4, CIP6 hierarchy matrix, selected metric by program CIP, income by years post-exit, mobility Q1, Q5 when relevant. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with one additional filter, metric selector. Dashboard 10, institution comparison. Primary audience are Chancellor or System Office, Presidents, Provosts, IR. The purpose of this page is to compare institutions while preserving context around program mix, credential mix, cohort, and geography. The primary source is all 5 facts, plus institutional warehouse dimension. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, median balance, DPD rate, mobility distribution, match rate, cohort, consumer count. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. Institution comparison table. Selected metric by institution, income, P25 median, P75, mobility distribution, cohort trend. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with one additional filter, metric selector. Note that institution selector is selected for 2 to 5 institutions. A governance rule is especially important here. This is a comparison tool, not a university league table. Differences may reflect program mix, credential mix, student population, cohort, and geography. Dashboard 11, Student Group Outcomes. Primary audience are Student Success Equity Leaders, IR, Provost, Deans, System Leadership. The purpose of this page is to analyze descriptive differences across student groups confirmed by the attribute lookup. The primary source is all facts plus Equifax, attribute LKP. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income, median balance, DPD rate, mobility distribution, match rate. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. Selected metric by attribute value, mobility by selected group, selected metric by cohort year, optional 2-group gap card. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with 3 additional filters, attribute type, attribute value, metric selector. These are descriptive comparisons. The dashboard should not turn an observed difference into a causal claim. Dashboard 12, Data Coverage and Match Quality. Primary audience are IR Data Governance, System Office, Institutional Leadership. The purpose of this page is to determine whether coverage is strong enough to support interpretation and comparison. The primary source is all 5 reports. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to overall match rate, TBUN match rate, credit match rate, matched consumers, total consumers, unmatched consumers. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. Matched vs. unmatched. Match rate by institution, match rate by program by CIP, match rate by cohort year, exception table below a selected threshold. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with 2 additional filters, attribute type, match rate threshold. Dashboard 13, Executive Summary and Guided. Next analysis. Primary audience are Chancellor or System Leadership, Presidents, Provosts, IR Leadership. The purpose of this page is to translate certified measures from dashboards 1 to 12 into a short leadership narrative and guided next analysis. The primary source is validated semantic model measures only. The KPI layer is intentionally limited to median income change, longitudinal change, largest validated risk, gap, match quality status. The analytical body keeps only the visuals that directly answer the stakeholder question. 4 short what changed statements. 3 where should we investigate cards. 1 drill path small KPI variance strip. The filters include the same shared filters used in Dashboard 1, along with 1 additional filter, optional attribute type. This page is built last. Navigation and drill-through. The navigation follows the analytical journey rather than the database structure. Start with executive overview, then move into ROI, mobility, debt and financial milestones, regional opportunity, financing background, distribution, longitudinal trends, program outcomes, institution comparison, student group outcomes, data, coverage, and finally executive summary. The drill-through path should remain consistent: institution, then CIP, then cohort, then years post-exit, then the relevant financial outcome. Sync slicers should preserve context across related pages so users do not have to rebuild the same analytical selection repeatedly. Data quality and governance rules. Confirm official definitions for credential-level codes before publishing readable labels. Confirm official definitions for completion status codes. Confirm exact Equifax definitions of XI, TWN, PMT, BAL, SL, BC, and DPD 90 before expanding abbreviations in user-facing text. Normalize percentage fields to one internal. Representation, preferably decimals such as 0.912, before formatting. Use table set explicitly. Set 1 for institution snapshots, Set 2 for cohort analysis, Sets 3 and 4 for credential analysis, and Sets 5 and 6 for L2 credential analysis. Use base inst ID for base institutional KPIs, CIP aggregation levels for program analysis, lookup-driven attribute levels for student and financing analysis. Use a composite attribute key based on aggregation level and attribute value. Validate attr20 inst region separately, where delivered region descriptions and lookup codes do not align directly. Require match rate context on executive, program, and institution comparison pages. Do not convert descriptive associations into causal claims. These governance rules are not optional cleanup. They are what keep a visually polished dashboard from becoming analytically misleading. Recommended build order. I would not build all 13 pages at once. Start with Dashboard 12, Data Coverage, and Match Quality. That validates the denominator. And Match Behavior. Then build Dashboard 1, Executive Overview, to establish the common page shell and governed KPI layer. Next, build Dashboard 5, Regional Opportunity, to validate income, geography, and the 1 to 20-year longitudinal structure. Then Dashboard 4, Debt and Financial Milestones, to validate payment, balance, and risk measures. Then Dashboard 3, Economic Mobility, after confirming the IXI and TWN definitions. Once those foundations are stable, extend the model into dashboards 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Dashboard 13, the executive summary, comes last because every narrative statement should be generated from certified measures that have already been validated elsewhere in the application. Closing, the most important takeaway is that Equifax data itself is not the dashboard. It is another source of evidence. The real value comes from modeling the data correctly, preserving its grain, connecting it to institutional dimensions, and then designing an analytics experience around decisions that students, parents, institutions, and university system leaders actually need to make. Done correctly, Power BI turns these 6 database tables into much more than a collection of financial reports. It becomes a governed graduate outcomes intelligence platform, one that can show long-term income progression, financial burden, mobility, regional opportunity, student group differences, program outcomes, institutional comparisons, and just as importantly, the quality of the data behind every comparison. And that leads to the question this entire application is designed to answer. What happens to our students after they leave college? And what can we learn from those outcomes to improve the experience of the students who come next? Appendix, narration, terminology, guardrails. As we review these dashboards, use Equifax terminology carefully. Keep ICSI, TWN, Q1 through Q5, and other abbreviations unchanged until official definitions are confirmed. Use only approved mappings for credential and completion categories, and remember that pre-aggregated measures such as medians and percentiles should not be averaged across different reporting levels. Thank you for watching. If you found this useful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with others who work with Power BI, institutional research, or higher education analytics. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.